Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We are tracking some rainfall this morning, and a lot more is on the way. You can see our live camera there in Chapel Hill. We're going to time out exactly when the heaviest of this arrives for everyone else coming up.
Also, right now, search crews in Baltimore are preparing to get back out on the water. Their efforts to find 6 people still missing after the bridge collapsed there more than 24 hours ago.
And the huge billion-dollar Mega Millions jackpot has a winner this morning. That ticket was sold in New Jersey, but there are some big winners here in North Carolina as well. Congratulations to everybody that won. It was not us. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm Michelle McConaughey, in for Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your Wednesday here. We think you're all winners.
You're all winners.
Getting up and facing a day like this with some raindrops, and it's just started to fill in if you're just waking up with us. Anthony Baglione showing that rain over there in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, we should get some points for heading on out this morning and braving all the rainfall we're seeing out there currently. If you're not dealing with it in your location right now, just wait. It's going to start to fill in here as we go through the rest of today. This tells the story, though, for us in Chapel Hill. This is our top of the hill camera, and you can see it's really starting to come down right now. We did see some lightning strikes showing up right there. I think as far as the heaviest of the coverage, maybe winding down a little bit there. But still, we take a look at this kind of heaviest cell we're seeing, generally speaking. Right around Chapel Hill, the heaviest of this has pushed to your north and east. It's just around the Durham area. Not seeing any lightning showing up currently. It wouldn't surprise me, though, as this continues, if we see a few isolated strikes with that. It's pushing up to the north and east at about 40 to 50 miles an hour right now. We go to another batch pushing through Fayetteville, Hope Mills. This is headed up toward Dunn, Goldsboro, Clinton, all going to be in the batch of this one. Again, southwest to northeast direction right now. Relatively quiet around the triangle. We see there's a bit of a break, or at least around the city of Raleigh. Durham is definitely active. That is all going to start to fill in here, mainly as we go through the next couple of hours into tomorrow. We do have a flood watch that starts at 8 o'clock this evening, goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I would still just treat this as if it's in place right now with the rainfall we're seeing. We go through today, there's the scattered shower activity, some isolated thunderstorms. It starts to pick up in coverage probably closer to this evening, but everyone has that chance through today. It'll be with us overnight tonight through the start to tomorrow. I think it could be pretty heavy for us on our Thursday morning as well. We're going to walk through this, though, more in detail and plan our Easter weekend forecast, Brian, in just a few minutes.
Anthony, here at 6:02, going to head back to live dual Doppler 5000 radar. We have the WRAL storm tracker on the road this morning on I-40 there on the south side of Durham, and you can see where the windshield wipers are going. According to radar, they're not the heaviest part of that cell, but certainly between Chapel Hill and Durham up 15501, you're seeing some pretty heavy rain at the moment. We'll keep an eye on what the storm tracker is showing us through the morning. Looks like we did have our first lightning bolt with this up there on the northeast side of Durham, so a little rumble of thunder, and also seeing some wet roads on the Durham Freeway as you head from the 885 interchange toward downtown. So we'll watch that for you. Just be careful as you head out on the roads there in Durham right now. Around the rest of the triangle, we're looking good with no crashes reported anywhere in Wake County.
The search is getting started again this morning for 6 people still missing after the tragic Baltimore bridge collapse. Maryland's Governor Wes Moore has ordered that search to begin 6 o'clock this morning, so it's underway, and the 6 construction workers who have not yet been found are presumed dead now. 2 of them have been identified as Miguel Luna from El Salvador and Maynor Yasser Suazo Sandova from Honduras. Ken Smith is in the WRAL Live Center with what's expected as this search resumes this morning. Ken.
And Jeff, we're learning a little bit more about the 2 men you just mentioned. Luna is considered a father of 3 from El Salvador, and Suazo Sandova from Honduras. He's a father of 2. Both have been living in this country for almost 2 decades now. As we take a look at just video of that scene that captivated our attention yesterday, and it was breaking news all day yesterday, the other 4 missing construction workers are believed to be from Guatemala and Mexico as well. Right now, what is supposed to happen around 6 o'clock this morning, according to Governor Wes Moore there in Maryland. And here you see now video of exactly when that cargo ship struck that pillar and that bridge came tumbling down yesterday morning. Authorities and rescuers are going to be deploying assets in the air and in the water. We're talking that yesterday this was a search and rescue mission. Today it's a search and recovery mission. We will keep monitoring it for any new developments here in the WRAL Live Center.
All right, Ken, thank you. And officials say the crew of that ship was able to send a Mayday alert just before that crash, reporting that their ship had lost power. That gave authorities on enough time to get cars off the bridge and stop any more cars from driving onto it. And coming up in the next half hour, how the Baltimore community is coming together to support the families who have been affected by this tragedy.
Today, we're expecting an update from state lottery officials about mobile sports betting in North Carolina. You've been seeing the ads and hearing them. It's been a little over 2 weeks since the launch of apps like DraftKings and FanDuel. WRAL's Laura Levine is outside PNC Arena this morning. We know that a lot of people have been using these apps, Laura, since they became available.
Yes, Jeff, good morning. It has been a busy few weeks with all of this. And if you have recently been to a Canes game here at PNC Arena, well, you may have noticed some of the information stands in the concourse sponsored by Fanatics, showing fans how to sign up for the app and start betting on their favorite team. Just one of many. It's been 2 weeks since mobile sports betting became legal in North Carolina. And today we are expecting to get an update on how it's going. Sports bars have been packed lately with fans placing those bets. And there's been a lot of action since the launch with the men and women's ACC and NCAA tournaments and the Canes playing big games here at PNC. And there are 8 licensed operators, and the State Lottery Commission could get an update on how much has been wagered and how many bets have been placed so far. State economists predict that by the end of this year, sports betting will bring in about $64 million. That, of course, with all of the different licensed operators in the state. Today's meeting begins at 10 a.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And Raleigh police are asking for your help finding a man they say is connected to an assault over the weekend. Police say this man in the photo has been on the run since Sunday and is armed. Police were called to the Greencastle townhomes on Green Road after reports of a man with a gun. When they tried to arrest him, he ran away. If you recognize him, you were asked to contact police or Raleigh Crime Stoppers.
A family of 4 is out of this Apex home after a fire there. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of that fire last night as crews responded about 8 o'clock last night to a home on Hill Hollow Way. It's right near Holt Road. Firefighters say the fire started in the garage and it spread to the attic of the home. They were able to get it under control in about 20 minutes and no one was hurt. Investigators are now trying to figure out what caused the fire.
A funeral service is happening today for a Johnston County woman who was shot to death last week during a custody exchange. A celebration of life will be held today for Emily Steinhoff. She was a wife and a mother. The service begins at noon at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship on Six Forks Road. And Steinhoff was killed March 17th in Smithfield. Police say that she drove her sister to pick up her son from the baby's father, Dorian Thomas. During that exchange, police say Thomas shot Steinhoff. He was arrested on the scene and charged with murder.
During a rare trip to Raleigh together, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris focused on lower health care costs, reproductive rights, and the 2024 election. Biden and Harris spoke at the Chavis Community Center in Raleigh before then going to a private fundraiser event downtown. Biden spoke at length about the years-long effort by Republicans to repeal the Affordable Care Act. A spokesperson for a former President Donald Trump's campaign said that Biden's speech was full of misinformation and lies. She told WRAL while Trump made repealing the ACA a key part of his 2016 campaign, he no longer supports that.
The president's speech was interrupted briefly when pro-Palestinian protesters stood up and started calling for a ceasefire in Gaza.
What about the health care in Gaza?
Everybody deserves health care.
And you can hear the president saying they have a point. We need to get a lot more care into Gaza. The protesters were escorted out by Secret Service. WRAL spoke with 2 of them. They say they have been calling for a ceasefire at Raleigh City Council meetings, but wanted to seize the opportunity to say it to the president himself.
That is our message to President Joe Biden, that if things don't change, we are still, we voted him into office. We have the power to vote him out. And the Democratic Party needs to give us a candidate that we can actually support. And it's not about voting for the lesser of 2 evils.
More than 100 pro-Palestinian protesters lined the streets outside Chavis Park, also calling for a ceasefire. Many held signs saying, "Abandon Biden." And breaking news, we have a new billionaire after last night's Mega Millions drawing. The lottery announced just after midnight that a ticket in New Jersey matched all the numbers and the Mega Ball, claiming that $1.13 billion jackpot. The winning numbers on your screen here, they were 7, 11, 22, 29, and 38. The Mega Ball was 4. 7 tickets sold here in North Carolina matched 4 white balls and the Mega Ball. 4 people won a $10,000 prize, and 3 people played the Megaplier, which was 2, making them worth $20,000. So if you missed out on the $1 billion Mega Millions, don't worry, there's still a huge Powerball jackpot up for grabs. Tonight's grand prize, $865 million. You can watch the drawing live here on WRAL right before our 11 o'clock news.
Right now it's 10 after 6 on our Wednesday. Groups in Raleigh want to make sure women continue to get access to medication abortion. Why they say a rollback in availability would have a big effect on North Carolina.
And you could run into some problems on your trip to the Outer Banks this weekend. Rough weather making getting to some of the islands all but impossible.
And we are certainly seeing some rough weather out there for us. Currently, we have some isolated lightning strikes showing up right there. More rainfall, though, is on the way. We're going to time out exactly when the rest of this gets here and time out the rest of our week's forecast and Easter coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Welcome back. It is just about 6:14 here on this rainy morning where we have even a few isolated thunderstorms showing up on the map. The general direction of these cells are moving from the southwest to the northeast currently. We're going to see a whole lot more as we go through the day, but right around the Durham area heading up toward Creedmoor, there is a lone lightning strike showing up right there. We're not expecting severe weather as far as damaging winds and tornadoes, but still that potential is certainly there to see a few rumbles of thunder. Right around Chapel Hill, you can see that heavier cell pushing up to the north and east. Siler City, Sanford also talking that. This is likely to arrive, let's say, in a place like Angier, Raleigh, maybe within the next hour or so. It should really start to fill in for just about everyone as we head into this evening. Still some light rainfall down toward Fayetteville currently here as we speak this morning.
All right, Anthony, it is now 6:14. We are watching those showers and storms moving through Durham and Chapel Hill. Want to check in with Kelsey Coffey on the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the Durham Freeway, not too far from 885. It looked like you ran into some pretty heavy rain there for a while, Kelsey.
Brian, we ran into some heavy rain back when we were in Chapel Hill, and it's just coming in pockets here for now. So let's give you a look at the roads. It's kind of lightened up a little bit, but just before 6 a.m. we saw some lightning out in Chapel Hill. Definitely wet roads between Durham and Chapel Hill. As far as the rain, it may impact your visibility while you're driving this morning, so be sure to watch out for that. Brian, can you give us any information about how folks can navigate these wet roads?
Yeah, definitely want to slow down as you head out this morning, increase your following distance. And since we're going to be dealing with these showers through the afternoon after the sun comes up, a reminder that whenever your windshield wipers are on, your headlights also need to be on. That is state law in North Carolina, just good sense. Taking a look at our live sensors right now on the roads, not picking up any unusual delays, and for the moment at least, no crashes reported in Wake, Durham, or Orange County, Jeff.
Detectives are looking for a missing woman from Harnett County. Family members say 28-year-old Shelby Campbell was last seen March 21st. Campbell is from Sanford, but the Harnett County Sheriff says her car was found in Florida. Family members have traveled to Florida to help to look for her.
And dozens of people rallied in downtown Raleigh in support of access to medication abortion. They joined other demonstrators across the country who are making their voices heard with a new abortion case before the U.S. Supreme Court this week. Nearly 2 years after the court overturned Roe v. Wade, the justices are weighing rolling back access to mifepristone. That's one of 2 drugs used to end pregnancies. It's a decision that could have serious consequences here in North Carolina, where medication was used in 63% of abortions last year. The rally was organized by an interfaith congregation who say their faith supports choice.
Judaism clearly states that life begins at birth. It does not begin at conception. It does not begin during the term of pregnancy. It begins at birth. The life of the mother is primary.
And the Supreme Court tends to hand down most decisions in May or June.
Parts of the Outer Banks are dealing with road closures right now. Terrible timing as families head to the beach for spring break or Easter weekend. Ocean Overwash has even closed down parts of NC 12. That Highway 12 is the Outer Banks main highway. It's expected to be closed on the north end of Ocracoke Island until Saturday. Beyond that, traffic is moving on Hatteras Island, but that island didn't get off easy. This is Buxton here on Cape Hatteras after a weekend of storms, and another low-pressure system is on the way now. Sandbags line the beach there in an effort to protect those homes on the shore, but that surf is coming right up under those houses on stilts. People living there are getting ready for more today with high tide coming in the morning. Another low-pressure system on the way as well.
All right, we got to get over to meteorologist Anthony Baglione. He is tracking some rain this morning. We just checked in with Kelsey Coffey. She saw some wet roads out there. That's going to be the story much of today and tomorrow. He shows us exactly where that rain is falling and how much we can see. The good news, Anthony, if there's any good news in all of this, it's getting rid of the pollen.
It certainly is. Yeah, we've been seeing kind of that thick yellow blanket on everything out there. And I think this is really going to start to stir the atmosphere up just a little bit for us. Today and tomorrow, great days to just have the rain gear. Just plan for the off and on showers. Friday, Saturday, Sunday looking phenomenal. So don't let this get you down. We'll be looking a little bit better. Let's talk about where we currently sit as far as the rainfall is concerned. It's been very heavy in some locations out there. We go toward the heaviest of it right now, right around Creedmoor, Durham. This is generally pushing up to the north and east currently, but you see this right about to the west of Chapel Hill. Again, that's probably going to skirt very close to the city as far as the heaviest coverage is concerned. It's still raining in Chapel Hill right now. Right around Burlington, also seeing some. So it's not out of the question to see a few isolated thunderstorms out of this. Good thing is we're not expecting severe weather in the way of tornadoes, damaging wind gusts. We still could see some ponding on the roads, some very heavy rain coming down. We also get closer to Sanford, Siler City. That's all pushing up to the north and east. Southern Pines looking relatively calm right now. The lightest coverage we're seeing, but it's still coming down. It's still inconvenient, right? We start off in Fayetteville, Dunn, Clinton. This is generally speaking kind of right in the middle of those three cities, pushing up towards Smithfield and Goldsboro here in the next little while. We take a wider view, though. We are not done with this by any means. Heading down to the south, even Columbia, South Carolina, Augusta, very heavy rainfall. They are dealing with a severe potential, but it's this feed of moisture. You can kind of just trace that out, and as it gets closer to us, it's going to build on itself in a sense, and that is why we have a flood watch outline that starts at 8 o'clock this evening. That goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. It doesn't start quite yet. Like I said, it goes at 8 o'clock this evening. Just keep in mind we still could see some ponding on the roads, things like that, with the amount of rain we're seeing out there currently. We take a look right now, our Durham camera looking a little bit better than what it was a second ago with the rain. But as far as, again, the isolated lightning potential, thunderstorms, that is still a very big potential for us this morning. We talk about where we sit here for the month of March on the whole, as far as if we need the rainfall, where we sit currently. We've had about 2.84 inches there in Raleigh. That's about 0.6, a little over half an inch or so below where we should be for this part of our month. 2.46 there in Fayetteville. We're a little bit dry, but to put this into perspective, we could get that amount of rainfall in some locations across North Carolina, an entire month's worth, in just the span here of a couple days. We're at 57 tomorrow, upper 60s, low 70s there for our Friday. A really nice Easter weekend forecast. No travel problems. And then as we head into next week, that opening day of the Durham Bowls, maybe a few light showers there, Brian.
Anthony, it is now 6:20, and we're still watching those showers heading into the southern part of Orange County now. You're about to see some pretty heavy rain just west of Chapel Hill and Carborough. The WRAL storm tracker on the road right now in South Durham on I-40, not too far from the 885 interchange. You're not seeing very heavy rain there, but certainly we are looking at damp roads through much of the triangle, so you do need to give yourself some extra time. And through the morning, we'll be watching those showers and letting you know where the roads are the wettest and where we're seeing the most problems. Good news right now as we take a look at those live sensors is that we're not picking up any heavy delays anywhere in the triangle. Looking all clear through Wake County for the most part, not seeing any problems in Durham or Chapel Hill despite those wet conditions, and no crashes reported at the moment.
Thanks, Brian. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hopes his pick of a running mate helps him gain some momentum in the presidential race. So look at the political newcomer. RFK Jr. is adding to his third-party ticket.
And a Bojangles under construction in Wake County is getting some attention on social media, but for the wrong reasons. The spelling mistake that's going viral, that's coming up in What's Trending. Whoopsie.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Michael Jordan's son and Scottie Pippen's ex-wife are no longer a couple.
Brian Schrader here now with What's Trending. Brian.
Yes, Real Housewives star Larsa Pippen confirmed on a podcast Tuesday that she and Marcus Jordan have split. Before dating Marcus, Pippen was married to Michael Jordan's longtime teammate, Scottie Pippen. Larsa and Marcus recently were castmates on Peacock's original series, The Traitors.
Yeah, they were also on Real Housewives of Miami, which this video is from. They have a 16-year age gap between the two of them, and a lot of people talked about that, and they're like, oh, that must be the reason. She said, no, it's not the reason. You know, we're just not right for each other. She spent some time alone. She said, you either realize you want to be with the person or you don't. And, you know, she said, I'm better off alone. So
they're broken up.
They're broken up.
I'm all broken up about it.
I'm going to have to
know
walk it
Brian
off.
is.
Yeah, well, we wish them well in their future endeavors.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. And this one, you really do need to look at the TV here to get this one. Crews working to renovate the Bojangles in Knightdale had a little trouble spelling on the sign there. Some observant people on Facebook shared this one, and others who drove by to check it out say the crew did get it fixed later today, but you get maybe the silent G in, I don't know.
Well, they're renovating, and they just, they wanted to put a little attention on this new store in Knightdale, and
they got it.
Getting it.
I wonder if the crew had ever been to a Bojangles before to say, something doesn't look right here.
They're being creative.
Yeah.
If they haven't, they need to treat themselves.
Yes, they do. All right, thanks, Brian. Texas-based fast food chain Whataburger is expanding to North Carolina. The city of Charlotte approved zoning requests for a new location of the chain, and these are renderings of what the restaurant could look like. This comes more than a month after the company filed plans to build a location in Fayetteville.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center as the search resumes in Baltimore for the 6 missing construction workers, the challenges the divers could be facing this morning.
We, of course, are looking at the rainfall today and tomorrow, kind of off and on for us through the majority of today, but then a really nice Easter weekend forecast, 80 degrees by Sunday. Coming up here, we'll talk about how much rain, though, we could see before we get there.
And we have the here and now for you, Anthony, right here. WRAL Storm Tracker on I-40. Wet roads this morning. We are tracking your commute here.